Today I'm a scriber, and as you can see, a scriber's an artist of various degree, and it's all me own work from my own memory.
So, I spent some time watching the Fear Street Trilogy recently. I grabbed a big bowl of popcorn and had a little marathon where I watched them all back to back and took some notes trying to get a feel for what I thought about them. I was so excited when I first heard that Netflix was creating a movie adaptation for one of the series that I'd read as a kid in middle school. R.L. Stine played a big role for a lot of us, I think, as baby's first steps into horror or the ever spooky. But after hearing the initial announcement, as some of you know by now, I took to avoiding most marketing for whatever it was going to turn out to be. I like going into TV shows and movies a bit blind. It's the way I've always enjoyed media most. And I think I end up giving whatever it is more of a fair chance when I don't have any previous biases. So I wouldn't have an ounce of knowledge about what this series was going to end up being by the time it was released. I didn't know who would be in it, who the characters would be, what books the movies would be based off of. I didn't even have a basic plot in my head. I was running off of pure nostalgia and the fumes of high hopes. I hadn't been this excited for a movie adaptation since Netflix announced their version of Death Note. Thankfully, Fear Street did a much better job of being entertaining for the intended reasons, and was definitely memorable past the hilarity of one inappropriately high-pitched scream from a character who's supposed to be known for being quiet, calculating, and surly. Fear Street was well put together. Everyone actually fit into the overarching story and made sense. But I will say that in general, it seems that my opinion of Fear Street doesn't match that of the people around me in some ways. I'm not going to go into too much detail plot-wise in this video, mainly because I've already discussed this in a collab video I did on another channel called Rebecca's Reviews. Link in the description. We talk about them there and even compare them to the books and drop little knowledge nuggets and Easter eggy fun facts about book-to-movie comparisons, so please take a minute to check it out if you have the time. Again, the link is in the description down below. I will say that this felt a little bit like a roller coaster with a steep drop and a fun loop at the end for me. 1994 kind of feels like the beginning. It's the slow crawl part of the ride, building your anticipation, giving you a view of what's to come, but in general, it's just you sitting there listening to the racket. I liked it enough, but it took a lot to grip me, and I really didn't care much about the characters, past maybe Kate, and I really didn't feel much of the tension that I was meant to feel. We got one really cool kill scene at the end in a horror movie about undead serial killers, which is pretty lackluster, but at least it was done well. 1978, it seems, is the unanimous favorite among everyone I've spoken to about the series. It had a pretty good balance between the horror that we wanted and the drama that comes with this particular story. It's not just the part in the roller coaster where you hit the topmost point, it's also the part where we take the nosedive and feel that exhilarating moment where everything inside our body shifts and our adrenaline and joy mix into that explosion of a scream. 78 is where it's at. The third, I'm guessing, is where the crowd splits. Between everyone who hated it, was disappointed by it, and the minority that includes me, who deeply appreciated everything it had to give. I will say that it also seems like a hit and miss between people who like period pieces set in the 17th century and people who almost immediately always find them boring. It's history, people. How dare. I'm a sucker for stuff like this. Not because I find this time period all that great to live in. In fact, I quite love and appreciate and enjoy and value the fact that I live in the 21st century. I don't know what I would do without half the conveniences that I have, like multiple articles of clothing and access to varied foods and freedom to vote and work as a woman and, soap, that stuff. But it is interesting to do the mental tango every time I come across a movie set in the past where the past is just so drastically different, but in so many ways also the same. I really enjoyed the story. I like the history we got of Fier, and I actually cared about Deena. The I'm just a surly emo wrapped up in a ball of angsty 90s grunge Deena, who I couldn't give any craps about in the beginning. This actress definitely brought her A game in this movie and convinced me that she could do more and made me react with her set of skills. I loved her in this movie, and even more so, the twist at the end. 1666 was able to tie everything together and give me an appreciation for 1994 that I didn't have before. though it's still my least favorite of the three. There's still a little theory about the red moss also in 1666 that ties the entire story together too, but you'll have to watch Rebecca Review's video to know what that is. As I said before, I go into more detail with Rebecca about why we liked or didn't like these movies on her channel, where we discussed it from beginning to end. It was fun to record with her, finally, and have an open conversation about a trilogy that I wasn't just excited to see, but genuinely did enjoy. Mostly. I mean, at least it was better than Death Note. A lot better. The graphic I'm working on in this video is based on all three movies, with Deena from 1994 portraying Sarah Fier in 1666, and the quote is from 1978. We're jumping all over the timeline with this one. It's available on TeeSpring for sale right now, and will be available through my Instagram store in the coming weeks. Check out the description below for links to my social medias. I am on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and stream frequently on Twitch, where I give away portraits, work on personal projects, and play video games with the people in the chat. It's a fun time, usually, and it's a very warm and open community. I'm so lucky to have them. And we'd love to have you join. If you'd like to go above and beyond to support a small creator, for as little as $3 a month, you can become a Patreon, where you'll get little benefits like access to my full gallery, a blog, exclusive projects, and stickers or other merch sent to you every single month. Comment below and tell me what you thought of the movies. And if you made it to the end, thank you so much. Remember, make good choices and follow the golden rule. See you guys next time.
I'm only happy when it rains. I'm only happy when it's complicated. And though I know you can't appreciate it, I'm only happy when it rains. You know I love it when the news is bad. Why it feels so good to feel so sad. I'm only happy when it rains.